Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another new series of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We are in version 0.8.9.13 and it is the waste and maintenance update, including research and the likes. We are jumping into a new game. This time around, we're not using any of our fancy modded maps or maps from the workshop. We're going to do random map because we want to play with research and we want to make sure that there are no surprises. So let's look at what the settings will be. We're going to go zero population. We're not going to go unlimited money. We're not going to go hard. I think we're going to go medium in terms of money straight away. I can't remember what this was. I think that's 1 million. I think this might be 2 or 3 million. I can't remember. Anyway, we don't want it to be easy. And definitely not unlimited money. We want to play with money. We want to play it fairly realistic in that sense. But yeah, it's interesting that it doesn't actually give you a tooltip that says what it was. That one I'm pretty sure was 1 million. Yeah, we don't get a tooltip. Yeah, anyway, we're not going to play realistic mode just because we want to insta-build some of our early buildings. But in terms of resources, we're going to bring it in from the border. That's kind of part of what we're going to do. Citizens, we will go with hard. So we'll manage them appropriately. We're definitely going to do everything energy management. We're going to do water management. We're going to do waste and demolition. So that's going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure if demolition actually works with InstaBuild at this point in time. In some of my tests, we've had a few instances where it was struggling a little bit. We're going to play with maintenance. We're not going to play with the seasons. We're just going to play in the summer. So it's going to be a temperate environment. We're going to go with normal. Shall we do normal? Shall we do frequent fires? Yeah, let's just do frequent fires. Global events. Oh, sorry. Frequent fires. Global events we're going to enable. We're definitely playing with pollution, complex education and simulation. Crime and justice we will enable. Traffic simulation complex, research enabled. We're going to say always day. I don't know what the difference between always day and static sun would be. Anyway, doesn't matter. We will lock vehicles according to year. Lock start according to year. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to start in the 1960s. So initially we're going to have pretty bad vehicles, but we will be able to buy secondhand, I understand. Yeah, we don't want to. We want to have access to the vehicles, even though they're just because we don't know if we're going to be quick enough with our own stuff, and that's generally going to be it. So the next piece, I think, is now let's generate our map here. Now, don't build anything. I'm going to build our very first road. So I'm hoping that our medium in terms of money is going to get us a reasonable road. I think the standard stuff is okay. I would like a few extra rivers. Let's go for 4 rivers. We don't want it to be too super hilly. We want terrain height. Yeah, if the terrain height is too high, we're going to struggle with water. And that's a bit of an issue. Let's get a little bit more hills, okay? Let's reduce the number of lakes a little bit. I don't want it to be lakes everywhere. So let's reduce the number of lakes a little bit. Terrain height, I think, is okay. Actually, let's drop the terrain height a little bit and see what that gives us. Okay, and 3 density, forest amounts. Let's get a bit more in terms of the forest amounts. 1.2 maybe, and then 3 density. I think just leave it as is. So something like that. That's going to be our... Let's see what that looks like. Amount of lakes. Yeah, I'm hoping that's a pretty reasonable way of looking at it. So I'll see you when our map loads. So this is going to be our map. I'll quickly drop this down to hide it a little bit. So as you can see, we still have research needing to happen. And so we'll have to get our research to be able to see where anything is. I think it's a pretty cool map. It's got a bit of interest in this area with the river. And then it's got a river running all the way through the middle. I kind of like this because that means we'll be able to do a pretty reasonable starting location somewhere here close to a river and be able to export and import via river. That would be pretty cool, I'm hoping. We do need to have a look at where our road will go. I did regenerate it beyond the other settings. I did drop the likes to 0.15 because 0.3 was still giving me lakes all over. This is a little bit more realistic. I wouldn't have minded a little bit of a river coming up here, but we do have some lakes. So if we were going to do some cities in this area, which we may, it will have some access to water. So that's generally what we're going to do. Now let's have a bit of a look at what we've got over here. I'll make this a little bit smaller. And we'll go to, so these are one of the lakes. I'll switch on the terrain tool so that we can have a bit of or the topography, so we can have a bit of a look at that. So I'm thinking about this kind, not that area. If I have a look at this kind of area somewhere over here as a starting location, maybe something like this as a starting location. Wow, it's a bit hilly. But I think we will make it, it'll work. Something like this maybe as a starting location with a road that kind of runs in between these things here. Yeah, I think that's going to be our starting point. I'll pause the game because we're already losing it. So medium gives you 4.3 million rubles. I think that's going to be pretty reasonable. I like this area as our starting city. So a little bit of a trick. I don't think it'll work for everything, but if we're looking at something like an iron mine, you can kind of hover it over here and just see whether you're going to build on top of resources. So that's the one thing. I'm not going to cheat and look for resources. I just want to have a bit of a look to see that if this is our starting city location, we're not actually building right on top of resources. So no iron in this area. Will we have coal? Oil. Let's have a look at oil. Oil can quite easily be in a low-lying area. We don't have any oil here, it seems. Oh, there's a little patch of oil there, which may actually work in our favor to have a nearby oil field. So that's a bit of cheaty, but I just wanted to make sure we're not building really on top of it. We might cover that in a little bit there. So that's okay. So there's a little bit of oil nearby. Coal. Let's have a look at coal. I just want to make sure we're not building right on top of coal. That's it. It doesn't seem to be a problem. So I don't know where our nearest coal would be, and that's obviously a resource that we would like to find fairly early on. Now, the next piece is a little bit more advanced. It goes into uranium mines. We can't actually get a uranium mine to test that, so we could be building right on top of uranium. I think the risk is fairly low in the middle of the map in a flat-lying area. And then the other one is bauxite, right? Where is bauxite? So bauxite mine, we can also not have a look at that. So there could be bauxite somewhere here and we wouldn't even know. So let's look. What is the next piece of the puzzle for us? I think in terms of a path that goes all the way through, I'm going to run something from that border post there, actually to our starting location, which was here, right? Now I've lost it. Here it is. Starting location is right over here. Yeah, I think that's a fairly reasonable starting location. It's fairly central in the map without being right in the middle of the map. It's pretty close. It's a bit closer to the Soviet border where a lot of our imports is going to come from. So I think this is a fairly good starting location. I didn't want to start at the border. I just don't like it. It just doesn't feel that natural to me. I think I'd rather start something on a river where, a settlement would start, and we will actually have a bit of a pathway that comes through here. I like some of these things, some of the features here. So I'm kind of wondering about our road connection, how we will do it. We could also path it through there, of course. Through here, I think this is like where we can mine some gravel and the like, and it can run all the way through there. So let's just keep losing my starting area. Here it is. This is my starting area. So let's just do a little something here so we can see it on the map. I'm going to just put a little something like that so we can find where our starting location is on the map pretty easily. We can obviously make a town name there, but that's going to be a good starting point for us. Now let's scroll on over here to the border post that we had in mind. It's a pretty sizable border post. I'm going to start it off with, let's plan it out with a little basic pathway. So we need to head about fairly well. If we're saying north is at the top, we had to go towards the south fairly quickly. And I'm kind of wondering if we're going to run. Yeah, let's just start it from this side, or actually from the other side. Let's start it from the other side. We want to pull out. We want to do something that's going to allow us access to the rail pretty quickly. So let's do something like this. Just a little bit of a meander that way, and then we turn it out this way. So I know it's you just want to give ourselves a little bit of room for the rail. Now we want to run it through there. Where's our starting? Okay, so let's keep going this. Well, let's do this. We'll go by the little hill here. Generate ourselves a little bit of interest in this location as well. It is heading to our town. This is the one I'm going to fill in. Just want to. Okay, so it's going to cost us a little bit to just get this terrain filled up. I'm going to level the terrain here a little bit. Right, level it. Yeah, there we go. From, say, that height there. Just do that. It's going to cost us just a tad, but I just want to make sure we don't have a pool of water in the middle of our town area here. And that should do quite well, because this is also going to give us a little bit of problems with our, that's going to be a little bit problematic with our water and sewage. But let's do that. So let's then turn it in this way. Okay, now I'm thinking, I'm going to trim it back. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be a little bit indecisive here, just a tad. So I would like us to, bring it back. A little more like that, and we'll bring it in a little closer to that hill. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be it. Okay, so let's grab it there. And we'll run it something like this on the edge of the hill here. Because we do want to make sure that this is ultimately able to become a bypass to most of our city, right? So this gives us access to our city without kind of running straight down the middle of it. And we'll kind of do a little something like this. We may find that it's in the middle of stuff where we want to maybe build some complexes or something. We're going to go through there and up there. Do something like this. Hug this hill here. Well, not quite. Going to keep our levels fairly good. Yeah, can we just go straight? I think we can just fairly easily just go straight. Yeah, we're really cutting through these hills quite nicely. Now we'll have to make a bit of a turn, which is not a problem. We'll run it straight for a while, and then we'll turn it back out. Well, let's just have a look. Ooh, let's trim that little section off there. Now, where are we heading? That's a hilltop. That is probably the border post that we're going for. So we'll slowly head on back up to that border post there. Okay, let's just find our. Should be here somewhere. Okay, so we'll be running around that side of the hill. Yeah, definitely. We've got some gravel over here. We'll have access to. Run straight up that way and then make it a little turn this way. This is actually going to work out well for the rail connection here. Do a little something like that, and we will end it off on the far side there. Beautiful. I like it. So we could now do this. We can obviously make this, so we'll have a decent run on the rail that way. Okay, So that's kind of what it's going to look like. Now, my question is, if I were to say upgrade it to this kind of road, because I do want to do that, what would this generally look like? We have no idea, actually. So if I were to say up to about that section there, can we get a feel for it? Let's have a quick look. So if we just upgrade that section, I just want to see what the cost of that is, right? Can I somehow see the cost of that? Did we just lose the cost of that? I think that was, oh, that's just foreign manpower. So if I were to build it, oh, it's still going. Why did our manpower, was that the cost of the manpower for, wow. So my idea is I want to just absolutely run through all of this and just make sure that we get all of this upgraded. And that's why I've got the extra cash, just to make sure that our first road is in effect upgraded road, so that we can fairly quickly move people to their areas. So it might cost us like $1 million or something. And that was the idea with the original, starting off with a little bit more money, so that we have that working in our favor. Ooh, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Cancel that one. Wrong button. Here we go. Let's get all of this upgraded. Wow, I wonder how much it's going to end up costing us. Okay, so it'll take a little bit to get it all done. Let's speed it along a little bit just to see how quickly we can get that there. It's pricey. It is pricey. It's not stopping yet. But we should have sections that's already done. $1 million. It's already at $1 million. See, that's good. Can you stop, please? These long sections should stop any time now, even on our big long stretch. Maybe this one is the last one. Look at that foreign manpower. It's not importing anything more. Yeah, it's $1 million. $1 million to get us there. There we go. Just over $1 million, actually, to get us there. Actually, the 30,000, I think, was to level that little section there. So $1 million for our first cross-cutting road. So we're effectively contemplating that this was a road that was going through the Republic, and we're now decided that this is becoming a republic of its own, and we're building it to kind of get to self-sufficiency from here. So that's generally what we are going to have as a starting point. Now, the next piece of the puzzle is for us to have a look at what our starter town in this location over here is going to be. Now, we're not going to do crazy things associated with interchanges and things like that just yet. So we may just start off with a few minor bits and pieces. Oh, sorry, I'm moving things around a little bit, a lot actually. So are we going to run in on this side? We could actually run in on both sides, to be honest. And yeah, we could run it in on both sides. So what we're going to do first, I'm just going to get rid of these names. Where do I get rid of these names? So actually, I can just click it there, and I should be able to delete it, right? Yeah, because there's no buildings here yet. Let's delete these names. And our first town will be situated next to this kind of hill here. We might drag water from the hill and then run it down that way, and have our first town kind of start in this location and then branch out. We might even do our first farms over here, because this is fairly flat and quite a large, sizable area. Okay, so now that we've got that going for us, I think what we'll do is we'll start off with planning a bit of a road out this way. We are paused at the moment, right? So if we were to do that, plan a little road around here into the center of town, which I'll say is about this area. Let's get rid of these paths. Okay. So if we were to say center of town, it's a little bit low lying here, which I'm not too fond of, but it's going to be okay. Going to be okay. So if we do center of town, actually, so let's do, this town might not be a super city, to be honest. Might not be a very big city. So I'm thinking we'll do a little bit of a grid-like pattern, probably we'll have some roads going out that way, going into town like this, right? So that's kind of, I think, going to be our... we could trim this back a little. I'm going to try and make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing than I... Usually I don't have time for it, right? There's just so much going on. But because we're going to do a few things that going to hopefully get it a little bit nicer. I might trim that one back a little. Okay, and then we'll aim to tie it in, yeah, like this. And then thinking do a little something like that. Tie this one in. Yeah, a little bit of an angle there. It's going to look a little bit more interesting. We'll see. Maybe that's going to be a roundabout in the future. That's kind of our town layout. I'm going to do a very similar thing. We're going to pull it off on this side here. This one we'll do a slightly different. Yes, excellent. I like that. The idea is we'll run it alongside the river over here, so we've got access. And then this one we'll probably do a little something like this. There we go. Tie that one straight in there, and well, let's see. So that is the access point from that side. Might be a little uninteresting, just these lines here, and we've got a little bit of room on this side. I'm kind of tempted to run maybe something up that way. So if we were to do, oh, we've got some nodes in here. So let's strip out the nodes here. Give ourselves a little bit of that. We'll trim this one back just a tad, and then we'll grab this road and bring it up this way towards the hill here, and then we'll turn it back out. This could be our gravel and some other industry complexes here. Pretty keen on getting rail in fairly quickly as well. So if we do something like this, maybe, there we go, and then we could potentially do a bit of a road connection maybe through here somewhere. And we could even run it up there and tie it in. Oh, that way. Yeah, I like that. There we go. Now, this is starting to look like a little bit of a reasonable town layout. And we can obviously enhance that a little bit more. So now we've got access to our main areas here. I might not pave all of them straight away, but I think that's going to be our starter town. And we might go into this area for farming and food and the likes. And we'll see. We may very well still run more roads up this way and see how we do it. Okay, now let's name this town. And I did receive some good. Excuse me. I did receive some good. I'm still a little cold. I did receive some good names in the last series around our theme of chaos. So let's say the center of town will be kind of right about there. Okay, and this will be Turmoilski. Thank you so much for that name suggestion. Turmoilski. There we go, Turmoilski. Okay, so that's like, that's another variant. Okay, and it's a pretty nice size for our town here. So I like that. That's good. Now, what are the first things that we're going to need to do? We can't, our 5-year plan is just around getting this city up and running in an appropriate way to make it work. So if this is kind of the center of town, and we're maybe thinking about the construction industry over here, which I think will work fairly well. So if we'll do the center of town right over here. So let's get an extra little road, and this will kind of be our center of town. Okay, so if that's our center. Oh, what is our distances here? Let's just quickly measure it. I just want to get a feel for our block sizes here. So that is 150 meters Okay, that way. And that one is about 200 meters. So it's a little large actually for what I had in mind here. So if we were to, actually, to be honest, what we can do is we can do a little internal square there. So I'm thinking something like this. Let's start it off with this. We'll cut it in about 3, right? If we do that and that, and this will be like our central area. Now, at the moment, let's switch off this and we'll build it with our own stuff. So we have to just get everything done by itself. Now, we won't be able to do a lot of these fancy stuff, but we can at least get a fairly reasonably sized statue. Can we, if we do that, do we know what it'll cost? Yeah, so that's what it'll cost. So it's not that pricey, to be honest. So, but we'll switch it off for the time being. So I would like at least one sizable statue over here. Okay, so that's the center of town. And then, I don't know if we have to do anything else, really. We might do this one on the opposite side. Okay. And I'm pretty keen on dragging out a bit of a square here. So if we were to say, can we do the square thing straight away? Excuse me, it's been a while since I've done it. Gravel road, gravel square, airplane road, airplane square. I don't think this actually costs us anything. I'm not going to do the asphalt. But the airplane one or the gravel one, let's just do the gravel one. So if we were to do the gravel square, I haven't done this in ages. Yeah, okay, so we need to turn it a little bit. Oh, hang on. If we do straight over the top, which is fairly difficult to do. There we go. Think that'll work. Beautiful. Not quite. Give it a little bit more over here and a little bit more. Okay, that should work. And then again, a little bit more up to there. So there we go, our first internal square. These paths will be, this will kind of be linked up between that side and that side. And now we can start doing our first kind of civic buildings over here. So unlike in the past, I'm actually going to start it out with like a town hall. Where was that? Over here. So City Hall, accounting office, that's going to be pretty pricey. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually go to the mods and have a look at City Hall. So I just want something that's a little smaller and not going to be that costly to build. So we'll go with that one. I'll right mouse click this to add it to my favorites. Come on. There we go. And we'll say favorites only in the modded menu. I'm going to use a little bit of mods. We just can't get away from that, I think. So we'll do a little city hall. I'll spin it around this way. So it's kind of, oh, actually, no. You need to spin it around this way to have it go to both sides there. I want to have it fairly close to that side there. So that's our city hall for this area. It's going to be a smallish one to start with. We'll do some nice trees and stuff around that. Now, around this, we'll also have, we'll need a shop and a few other things. So let's see what that looks like. So we will need like a kindergarten. Is this the only one? School. So we'll need a kindergarten. I'll actually give it a little bit of interest by turning it in like this. Actually, let's bring the kindergarten off to this side. Okay, and at the same time, we will do a school. We'll have this school. Yeah, do that. It's interesting that we have so few access points to the school. Okay, but we will use kind of the same shape. Okay. Now we would like a shopping center, so let's head off here to a shopping center. I'm not going to use... some of these were actually pretty good, but what we'll do is we'll just start off with a small shopping center. How many access points does it have? Yeah. So if we were to do small shopping center, maybe even like this, right? We should be able to give it an access point. Do we go big straight away? Let's just go big straight away. I think that's probably better. This one only has the one access point too. This one is a little bit better, and we could even do it kind of behind this building a little bit and have it pretty central. So it's kind of, yeah, I think that's kind of what I like. Let's do that so we can ultimately go and get better access for it. It's kind of on that same kind of grid. Now, what other things do we need? So we definitely need a university from day one so that we can start researching stuff. If we go here to universities, we do need some of these things actually. Let's get a hospital. A small clinic. And we do need to get our waste stuff planned out. Okay, but let's just get our first basic pieces in place here. So let's see. The hospital is pretty big. I want a fairly sizable clinic, but nothing too major. That's too small. 30 workers, 30 doctors. This might be a little bit better. So if we were to, we could provide an access point like this. I'm kind of keen on maybe giving it a little bit of an angle. We're trying to get everything kind of on a similar axis at least. Okay, so let's do that for our clinic. And then we also need a fire station. Go with, I think we can go with a vanilla fire station actually. The fire station could be a little bit more out of town. So if we were to say that these roads here are pretty central for us. So if we were to say the fire station actually will go right there. That's good. Then what we'll do is we'll put the police next to that also. Get to universities in a minute. Police. I think we're going to start off with small police station. Again, we might just get this straight onto this road here. Okay, small police station. I'm not sure we're going to do a small courthouse straight away. We may as well. If we do a small courthouse, offset it a little bit, so the courthouse will kind of be in. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. If we do that, we'll offset it a little bit. We'll get our road connection straight into the middle there. Let's go back there, grab our road connection. Put it in. Yeah, I like that. That's straight in the middle. We can still get a path or two through there. So that's pretty good. And now I'm thinking bus station over here. Now, in terms of bus station, bus platform. So that takes about 500 workers. Yeah, that's, it's not, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. Actually, the bus platform can go in here. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Interesting that it doesn't connect those paths there. So I'll put the bus platform right here. That's okay. And what we'll obviously want to do is make sure that we run paths straight through. If we were to do this, definitely want to run that path straight through there. So just to make sure that we have very direct accesses for our bus station, and it's right here next to this. I like it. And now we'll see about a round of stuff. So we can close this so it's not in our way all that much. Now there's plenty of stuff that still needs to go in here. Like waste collection is something that we need to start planning out. I think I've left a fair bit of room here, but we do need to understand that waste collection is a very small area of collection. So let's just go back and see what other facilities we need. We need a university, so we'll go with the small headquarters of the Communist Party, right? It's probably about right. What is it actually? Yeah, that's reasonable. We could do it here, and it kind of thematically makes a lot of sense to have it kind of next to the school and next to this central square here. So I'm tempted to place it there. Okay. Let's do a little bit more work here with regards to our pathing. So what I wanted to do was we'll do that. We'll do that and we'll go around that way if we need to. And similarly, this one, we'll do that with, and we'll tie these in. So we have proper kind of pathways through there. We will definitely want to do something like this. We'll do that instead. Yeah, so we'll have to insta-build a lot of this stuff just to make sure it's there and it's working and all these kind of things. Okay, that's our first round of paths, our little internal square, and we can do some other stuff in here. There's some other modded kind of statues and things that could look quite nice in this area. Okay, what else do we need as part of our first town before we get into the trash stuff? Let's just get everything we need. So we've got a university. We will need more. We've got this. We've got our accounting, or we do need technical services, but we'll get to that in a bit. Pollution monitoring is stuff that comes a little bit later for us. So we've got a school, we've got a kindergarten. Okay, so now we also need some housing. So if we go to the housing side of things, we really have access to very limited stuff at the moment because we don't have concrete researched yet. So I'm really going to go with these brick flats at a 70. Ooh, that one's actually better. But 77% quality of flats is not bad. And it gives us a little bit more to go on. Now, I would like to make sure it looks at least reasonable. Look at that. All access is to the one side. So I'm not a big fan of that. We go with the other one that's slightly smaller. I think that might ultimately be a little bit better. So what I'm going to try and do is do this. Come on, stop doing that. I'm going to move it up here a little bit more. We'll flip it around like that, and we'll flip it again, and we'll do something like this. Try and get our paths in there a little bit better. Okay, so we'll do something like that. I'll then go and do the same thing on the other side here. And, we're getting citizens. Let's definitely not get citizens. It won't be built, but we're not getting our citizens straight away either. Want to make sure we've got kind of everything working out. And let's flip it around again. Oh yeah, something like that. Okay, so if we do that, and I'll flip it around one more time, and we'll do something like this. So this is going to be kind of our first round of houses here. Okay, so that's our little shape on this side, and in order to get a little path going here, we're gonna try and okay, so we're gonna try and do this and that. Not too problematic that I'm doing these things. We're going to do this. We're going to run the path over there. We're going to come back off this way. And we might add an extra road connection on this side. And do that. And we're going to probably try and Get a little bit of a straight connection there, and we'll tie all of these guys in, and we'll ultimately this will be with sidewalks, and there'll be a little pathway that runs in through here, probably connecting in straight to there. We can probably do that straight away, so let's get that going. So if I'm gonna run that pathway through there up to about that spot there, and it'll tie in nicely over here. So that gets us access to the school. Whether that gives us access to the kindergarten for all of these, I'm not sure. But at the very least, we're starting to get some of that going on. We will do a very similar thing on the other side here. And I'm contemplating using that very same kind of layout to this side. Well, it maybe not the exact same layout, but the same kind of feature that looks to this area here. So let's do that. Let's quickly lay that out, and then we'll lay out our first kind of set of trash things. Okay, so let's do that again. So now this time around, I want to do it like something like that. Should give us a reasonable area to go on here. Okay, and we'll flip it around. Like so. Actually, we'll flip that around. Yeah, we'll do this. Make sure there's enough room for a little path in the middle there. Flip it around again. Okay, this one might be getting a little bit more tricky. So maybe not anything on this side just yet. So what I might do, this may look a little bit different. So let's start off a path this way. We'll curve it a little bit like this. I want to straighten it out a little. Yeah, that's not quite what I had in mind. I'm not going to be very pedantic about these things, but I do want it to look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. If we do that, and we then do kind of this section as a straight section, and we also do that, and we'll do, if we do, yeah, that's okay, and this is going to be a little tighter. We'll get these in there. Could do something in there. And then the question really is, do we, yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll just, let's turn on snapping, F4, turn off snapping. You can also do it by clicking this button at the bottom here. And we'll run a straight section through there. Actually, I want to start it so that we generate a node at these points where we want to tie in. We'll do that. So now we do that. We've got supposed to have a node there, and there we go. So now that's kind of this area. I might tweak that a little bit in terms of our pathways. If we were to say paths running, start it over there, so we can still, take it elsewhere. Yeah, it's probably going to have to tie into this one. That's fine. I'm quite happy for it to tie in like so. And then obviously that gives us a fair bit of access to some of these other areas. So that's pretty good. So that's our kind of starter area here. So this gives us access to how many people? So the size of this is 150. Let's just go with 150. So 300, 750 over here. And that gives us an extra, that's 900 and 750 gives us 1,650 workers in this very area here. And obviously we can expand this out. I think there's plenty of room for more stuff. Everybody should be able to get to where they want to go. Let's have a quick look at walking distances. I think if we have a look at walking distance from there, it doesn't actually say much because a lot of the stuff is actually tied up and connected just yet. But I think we'd be fairly reasonably connected at the moment. So let's just have a quick look. What else do we need? I think we've got those in place. We do need something for culture. So let's get ourselves a cinema. I don't want to use this area because we'll use that for maybe some warehousing. We do need it pretty. Maybe what we do, we get ourselves a library over here. Yeah, there's not much else we can squeeze into that area. So maybe if we get ourselves a library in this area, we'll at least have immediate access to culture. We also would like to have access to a pub. If we were to do a pub instead, like the view bar and cafe kind of thing, if we have it here, it should be able to be accessible to things. We do need to get more walking distance going. This area is a little bit more reserved for like higher order functions, but we do need a little something like this. So let's do that. Get the pub in there. Okay, so that should be a pretty reasonable area. So now we've got culture, we've got a pub. If we were to say do that, we were to say do this. We were to provide ourselves with a little bit more kind of walking areas. Yeah, so the square will have multiple. Come on, yeah, it can get through there. There we go. I like that. And there we go. We'll get kind of all of that sorted out. And this one might just go. But rather almost. Yeah, let's just do that for now. So that's kind of what I have in mind here. That should get everything connected. This one is a little bit far away at the moment, but I think what we'll do is we'll do some reasonable stuff in here. Okay, so now we've got basically everything we kind of wanted, I think, in here. So that's kind of the intent with our starter area. We've got a little square, we've got a bus stop to pick people up. Whether we bring a rail in at some point is an open question for me. I do want us to bring a rail in, but it's probably not going to be in the center of the city. But what we may do is I'm kind of contemplating maybe a tram loop around here or a streetcar loop around this to make sure that things are a little bit more accessible. I do want to do a little bit of that, make it even better. And then if we're going to run a construction industry over here, probably it makes sense to do the quarries over here and then put the rest of the construction industry on this side, close to the main kind of highway, and then fairly close for workers and stuff that can be bussed in over this way. And then we can probably have this straight running in this area, and we can do our very first farming setup and do some clothing in that area. I think that's going to be pretty good. We know there is some oil over on this side, and we may extract that in the future, but that is a little bit into the future, I think. So if we have a look at this, yeah, I think that's fairly reasonable in terms of what our starter town is going to look like. Let's just go over this one more time. Oh, now we need to do the trash. So let's have a look at the trash stuff. In order for us to do trash properly, right, we do need collection points. We don't want to collect at individual stuff. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to say, let's do we build our little paths? So if I were to go with this, right? What is our walking distance here? So it's still pretty abysmal, really. Right, so the smaller ones is probably going to be better. So that we can kind of get them tied in a little bit more frequently. But in order for us to do so, I think we need to get our paths working. So what I would like to do is just get them in place. And so I wouldn't mind having even more paths that run something like this, maybe. Yeah, I'm just going to try and get most of our paths connected at least. Something like this, so that everything is somewhat connected. Certainly do that. Certainly do this. Similarly, we may want to run a path right down the middle this way, and right down the middle that way, and then tie it in like so. And even like this. Excellent. We'll tie that in. That's pretty good. We'll do this. Here we go. So we've got a few paths doing its thing here. Yeah, so we'll do something like this, right? Just so everything is kind of pathed up nicely, because we're going to need these paths to generate a reasonable accessibility to the trash stuff, right? And we still need to do water and sewage at the same time, just by the way. So all of that's pretty good. So what I'd like to do is just say, yeah, so just the gravel paths, they're going to cost 16,000 rubles, which is fine. Let's get all of them built. Oh, we're actually not paused. We need to pause. Make sure we're paused. Okay, so now all of our gravel paths are built. We may need a little bit more, but I think that's a pretty good starting point for connectivity, to be honest. I may want us to run something here. Okay, so let's just build that little section there. Perfect. Stop that. Don't unpause it again. So we're into March already, because it's been time has been flying. Okay, now let's get to the trash side of things. We're going to go with the small ones. Unfortunately, they will all have to kind of do this. So if we were to do this, not really going to get everything we need. Oh, you know what we're missing? I've messed this up a little bit because I didn't actually connect all of our roads. Let's connect our roads. So if we were to do that, so we've got a little bit of a road going on there. I'm gonna have to unfortunately trim this out. And now we'll see if we trim out a little section like that, right? And we fund it with rubles. Oh, it is actually taking it away? Okay, good. Oh, yes, it's just taking that away. Okay, now we can remove the next section. So that cost us like 100 rubles or something. 180 or something. So let's get this. Oh, you know what? Do that. Oh, there we go. We can connect it straight through there. Where's that path again? Back to the path. Here we go. Up there, and I'll go ahead and fund that little section. Good. So fix that problem that we were having. And it's paused again. So we've got one trash collection here. We just want to make sure that everything is kind of covered, so that we don't need to do silly things with regards to trash. Okay, we'll get another one here. It's not a very useful one. We'll get something on this side. So now all of those are covered. This is kind of okay. We'll probably need... Something like that. Oh, this is pretty good. Actually, with that one over there, we don't need this one. So let's demolish that. And we'll demolish that little section of path there. Okay, now we need to... Okay, so all of this is kind of covered. I don't think the bus station is covered, but I don't think the bus station does anything. We'll definitely need a little bit on this side. And in order for us to do that, I'm going to finish off a few more paths through here. If we were to say we're going to have a path that does that and does that. I kind of want to do this. At the same time, we'll do that. So if we do get something going on in here, it should pick up all of these things. So let's go ahead and build that. Oh, actually, why are you not building? Thank you. I also want, let's just get this upgraded quickly. There. Oh, I need a little bit more room there. And at the same time, what I might do is, from a path perspective. Okay, so what I'll do is we'll get that going. Okay, perfect. So that's done. So that should give us a little bit more accessibility if we were to build something in here somewhere. Really, we can't... Somehow we can't make this work. You know what I might do? I might do a little bit of... might help this out a little bit by doing maybe something like this and just bringing this off a little bit more to this side. And we'll do that, and now there should be room there. Should be quite comfortable to get that in. So let's get that one in here, please. I'm hopeful that actually does give us access to everything in this area. That was kind of the intent. And now we need to kind of have a look at what we can do in this area over here. Yeah, I will squeeze that in there because I'm pretty sure that will cover those. And now if we were to say we're it's a little tight on this side. If we were to do it over here instead, yeah, we're covering all three. Let's do that. And if we were to do it on this side, we'll cover all three over here as well. So we might not need... I'm tempted. If I do this... Right, I like that idea. And if I then do a little bit more kind of pathways through this way. Oh, this thing is never gonna work that way. Let's get that done. And if we now have a look at this guy, so this one will now reach. That one will not. That one will not. Anyway, I think that kind of covers off everything we have here. Maybe we've got a little bit of an accessibility issue here. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to kind of run a path over there and into that. That's okay. And at the same time, do something like that, get all of those built. And now I'm hoping that our walking accessibility is pretty good. I think all of these will now be collected by this one as well. So now that should work and get everything collected. So now we've got our trash collection in place. And I think that is where I'm going to leave this episode. So that's our starter town. There's probably a few things that we're missing, but I do like the idea that it's a pretty reasonable shape. I want to clean it up, make it look pretty nice. I may as well put an extra little road in somewhere here, but we'll get to that in the future. We will need more accessibility and so on. We don't want to burden this area too much. So that's kind of the idea around our first town. There's still plenty of things like services and the likes that we need to put in here. Water and sewage needs to be planned out next, and our technical services and where we're going to take the trash. I think those are the things that we need to do and also our distribution. So the piece that's still missing here is a bit of a warehouse around distribution. That's definitely a requirement, and we need to set up our first kind of central distribution area as well. I want to make sure we set up distribution pretty good from the start, even though we only have a handful of free distribution offices. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this and you want to see us keep going, please hit that like button. We will be doing some nice cities in this playthrough. Yes, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.